for attending the Mount Olive Township Council Conference meeting of July 23rd, 2013. I'd like everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and take a moment of silent reflection. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You will be seated. Mrs. Lashman, would you please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the municipal building, 204 Flinders Drakestown Road, Flood Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forte?
Here.
Mr. McCastro?
Here.
Mr. Perkins? Mr. Roman?
Here.
Mr. Stazak?
Here.
Mr. Mania?
Here.
Mrs. Laydown?
Here. Let the record reflect that Mr. Perkins will not be in attendance this evening. He's visiting his mom, who's not doing well, and we certainly wish him the best and the family. And tonight we have some resolutions on, and anybody have any questions, concerns, discussion? Mr. Roman?
Sean, on the resolution regarding the cobblestone facility, how much do we expect that contract to be?
The initial estimates were over the plate threshold, I believe. We don't have a firm number on that yet, depending on what they find with the initial findings on the water and the pressure, quality of the quality of material there. The funding out of this, I should note, does come out of the business development fund, the total funds that we use out of the general fund.
That would have been my subsequent question. And am I correct also that if the study comes back negative, that there isn't enough water to support the project, we will be stopping our condemnation procedures?
Yeah, so this part of our due diligence, we have to make sure that the property can support adequate water, with adequate water pressure and water quality, not just for that, but also the water table for the surrounding areas. So we want to slow down the water to the neighbors. If it is a utter failure, then yeah, we'll trigger a reassessment, and one of the possibilities is certainly the project.
I think the total amount that we have committed to the project is $750,000.
There's plenty, the answer is there's plenty of money in the COLA funds allocated for this.
Obviously, we're required by the state government to have committed our affordable housing trust fund to the project.
If I can get a follow-up now, what if we have to abandon condemnation of that project? What happens to our COLA funds?
It's an interesting legal issue, and it's a bridge that we haven't crossed at this point. I assume that we would commit the funds elsewhere and have to deal with the state at that point in time in terms of whether or not our abandonment of the project means the same thing as our abandonment of the fund. But if we're really too far down the road at this point to worry about that, and we will move forward with some other project in the event that we don't think we have to abandon this project and deal with the state at that time.
Do we have any other projects in the pipeline?
No, there aren't any other projects there were concepts that we had looked at, but obviously, once we went down this road, as per the deadlines of the state in terms of having to have committed the funds, we were fully committed to this project. So that Plan B would be a plan which we would have to adopt from the concept plans that were originally identified and argue with the state in terms of whether or not we are permitted at that point to move forward with Plan B, or whether or not the abandonment of Plan A would require us to forfeit the funds.
Yeah, we did raise this question in our internal discussions, Councilman. One of the concepts we did talk about was our position is that we fully complied with the state's mandates when it comes to COA and the allocation of funds. Our spending plan was approved. We've jumped through every hoop that the state has mandated us to in this project. So our position when we discussed this matter with Mr. Buzek and also Mr. Semrau is that we have fully complied with their regulations, and if to no fault of the township of Mount Olive, the due diligence shows that this project is not sustainable, we feel we're on sound legal ground that we have the right now to submit an updated spending plan because we comply with all the regulations. The plan, on paper seems good, no one can tell about water tables or other items, and our position would be that we fully comply with code regulations, and we have every right then to submit an updated spending plan and move forward with an alternative strategy in this regard. We don't feel that we're in a poor position based upon our adherence to the regulations.
But ultimately, the decision would be made by somebody else, whether it's a judge or about the state agreeing with us. We don't know.
And when do we think we'll have a response back as to whether the study finds enough water here?
Hopefully within 4 weeks, we're going to approve it tonight. We're hoping that they're going to move forward with this, and we'll get some results.
So
We're hoping before Labor Day.
So we're still within the schedule of the state, so we're not,
Yeah,
behind?
we're not at any disadvantaged position currently.
We have no reason to believe that this study won't be favorable.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, we went through a legal report during the workshop, so maybe we should discuss it next. We got to vote on it before your legal report.
Thank you, Madam President. I was gonna save it for the legal report, but, regard to the one resolution that was on for tonight, Siemens Healthcare. I know Siemens Healthcare is anxious to get started with development phase 2 of their project at block 4, lots 25 and 26. They have obtained all the necessary approvals from the planning board. They have a plan to get the developers agreement signed as soon as possible. Now, their attorney has the developers agreement, it's taking longer than we expected to review it. So our thought was that we want to work with Siemens in order to be accommodating to Siemens, as opposed to having them wait another 2 weeks. If we come to agreement with their attorney on the agreement, we ask the council make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement once it is ready to go, subject to our legal review. Again, our perspective is just that we don't want to punish Siemens because their attorney is now taking additional time to review the agreement.
Shame on their attorney. That's all I have to say.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with you, John, but, we've worked very diligently in all aspects with Siemens up to this point. They're on a very strict timetable in terms of, moving forward with the project. Obviously, the overall success of the project is a great benefit to the township of Mount Olive, to the tune of, approximately $1 million a year in taxes. $500,000 in terms of their expansion, $500,000 in terms of what they pay currently. There are the safeguards in place in terms of the review and agreement through council. Obviously, once council comes back and tells us that they're in agreement with the final document, I don't think there's anyone up here on council who's going to really have a problem with some of the legalese that would be included in the document. So, again, the administration would ask for a little bit of leeway here in terms of moving this forward, getting it done in a timely fashion, and allowing, approving it in advance in its majority form with, obviously, the understanding that legal counsel will have approved any of the changes. And certainly we'll report back, we'll get a report from legal counsel as to what the ultimate changes were. And I'm sure that nobody would have had a problem with any of the changes that are going to be asked for by Siemens.
In all due respect, Mayor, we had a similar situation on the planning board level where their attorney dragged their feet again.
Yes, I don't disagree. Siemens is a very large corporation, and there are many levels of approvals that everyone has to go through. And I recognize the fact that we have, as a township, bent over backwards at every level for Siemens, including the planning board, including the administration, including everything that we have done. But at the end of the day, the benefit to this approval will be to the residents of Mount Olive. So that while we have, and on a municipal level, had to deal with things in a different way than we normally will, as I said, at the end of the day, it's us who will benefit through ultimately getting in here as quickly as possible, because we're not going to be taxing them until they're actually occupying the building. So any delays actually is detrimental to the residents of Mount Olive. And I certainly understand council can take the position that they're not prepared to vote on this document or allow at least me to sign off on this document without having reviewed it in the first instance and approved it. But I think at the end of the day, really what you're talking about is a ministerial act in reality. my signing of the document will wholly be reliant upon council's advice that the document is appropriate for signature. Because even though I am a lawyer by practice, this is outside of my area of expertise, and I'm not going to really comprehend all of the legalese that's going to be included in the document, and will rely upon council. So I really don't see the downside in approving it in this fashion. And I only see a benefit in terms of moving this process forward as quickly as possible.
Mayor, when you're talking about legal counsel, you're talking about Fred Sammer's office or also Ed Guzek? Both or just?
I'm just talking about where the developers agreement situation, it will be Fred's office that will be giving their approval to the developers agreement. I don't know how many of us up here have read through developers agreements. Normally, what we do is we rely upon council to say, yes, this is complete, we've looked at everything. And I can't remember a time that I've sat up here in 10 years that we really had a major problem with any developers agreement that's come through. And I think in part that's based upon the good legal advice that we have gotten from John Dorsey and from Fred prior to this evening in terms of getting the document in shape that it protects the township.
Mayor, I don't disagree with you. I don't want to hurt the residents of Merrill Island. I just wanted to voice my opinion as to what transpired.
I don't disagree with you, John. I can tell you that in the year and a half that I have been dealing with Siemens, we have bent over backwards on every occasion to make this happen. I think that Siemens really worked very diligently in terms of the affected neighborhoods and ultimately came up with a plan after all of the planning board testimony to satisfy 99% of the issues which were raised. They're a good neighbor, and it's time to just put this to bed and let's get them on the tax rolls.
Agreed.
Anybody else on council have any questions or concerns? We're now up to old business. Anybody have any old business? Anyone have any requests? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Ordinances. Anybody have any questions or concerns on the ordinances? I'm also glad you brought that up because I did want to point out, we did get the tree bank ordinance. And I thank Mrs. Lashway, she did the research and got all of the information over to Jeff, our attorney, to tweak the ordinance, shall we say. So we're all good to go with it. I don't know if you've all had a chance to review it. To me, it looked like we had everything in there that we wanted in there, so.
I think the first item that we're gonna come to, once we pass this, the first item that we're gonna come to the council for is we want to plant an evergreen on the municipal property that can have a large evergreen that can be used repeatedly year after year for holiday decoration.
Good idea.
Yes, because last year, when we did it the first time, it really was not, it was not an appropriate holiday decoration. It was, just really didn't fit. So.
I don't know if, probably most of you remember when the library used to be where the Mental Child Care Learning Center is now. There was a great big evergreen in the front, and that was the tree that was lit every single year, and the fire department would come with their truck, right? And put the lights up, and it was really nice, and it was so huge, it just kept getting bigger and bigger, so it'd be nice to see that tree grow. And
I think that also illustrates the reason why we've decided to move forward in this fashion, and there really is no reason that it has to go to the environmental commission, it has to go to the planning board, and then come back, and it's 2 months later. Now in September, we'll come to the council, we'll have a recommendation from our buildings and grounds department as the location, type of tree, and we'll approve it.
anybody have any questions, concerns on any of the other ordinances or anything? I've seen none. Old business? No old business, new business? New business? Public portion, anybody from the public like to come up and, would you like to come during the public this is a workshop, and during our public meeting, which is gonna be in a couple of minutes, then it'll be on the record, did you need?
Don't need to be in the record.
It doesn't need to be in, oh, come on up.
I'm Jeff Bieber, I'm from Pakistan.
You just have to go right up to
Oh,
the podium.
the podium? Okay.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, it would be on the record, it's just, our public meeting, which starts in a few minutes, is verbatim.
Yeah, my name is Jeff Bieber, resident of Pakistan, New Jersey, 309 West 4th Street. I'm the broker owner of View the Real Estate out of Hackettstown. I don't know if you've seen the yellow and green signs. Nonetheless, HMUA owns 187 acres plus an additional 3.6 acres in Mount Olive Township, in addition to another 14.1 acres in Washington Township, Morris County. And they have contracted my company to perform an absolute auction of these lands to take place on September 21st of this year. And we just wanted to make the council, the members of the board, aware of the auction. And we brought you a copy of our preliminary auction flyer, plus a copy of the actual map that shows its location within the township.
Is the location of the township in the preservation area?
Yes, it is. It's an island preservation.
Mr. Robbins?
On that property, does that include the reservoirs?
Yes, it does. It includes the upper and the lower. Correct.
And the waterfalls.
And the waterfalls.
And the waterfalls.
This might be jumping the gun, but I, for one, am extremely interested in those properties, and I would like for us to see how we can acquire them.
For the township,
For the
open
township.
space?
It's just so the council understands, it is an absolute auction with no minimum bid. It will be sold regardless of price. No approval needed. You never know. So, and the only reason we don't have the full marketing prepared is we just literally got this listing, but we wanted to get in front of the council as fast as we could, so we give you as much information, because I realized how long it takes for a board like this to act on a piece of property, so.
Is the lower reservoir emptied right now?
No, it's not.
It's not been emptied.
No. But in the coming next 10 days, we will have a complete bid package. So if you would like the full disclosure and all the reports that we have on the property, contact my office within the next 10 days, and we will certainly furnish it to anyone who would like a copy.
Mayor, what's your position on, review a little bit?
It's a very complicated situation that would require partnering with, obviously, the Land Conservancy or one of the other nonprofit Green Acres, which would make it extremely difficult because of the nature in which the way the property is being sold and the way that the nonprofits operate in terms of appraisals and negotiation with a landowner who has a desire to sell. We don't have open space money to purchase it ourselves, so I'm not sure that we would be in a position to purchase the property.
I'm trying to figure out, why wouldn't the HMUA come to us first and ask us if we were interested? Do they contact anyone?
I don't know. I can only assume that they're trying to maximize the return on the dollar.
Yeah.
They feel that this is the best way to do it.
Sure, you got
Okay, go ahead.
and just state your name and address for the record,
Okay.
please.
My name is Henry Rewerts. I live at 702 Long Glen Road, Greenbush Township, Bloomsburg, New York. We believe that the HMUA is bound because the public entity to auction the property.
What do you think, if somebody purchased it, what could they possibly do with it? What are their options?
Well, it's right across the street from a part of Stevens State Park. It might not be called Stevens State Park in that immediate vicinity, but it's part of that land.
Right.
So it could be used as an extension of that park system. The ponds have been stocked, bass in them now, people eat, part of the people are catching them. It's used for hunting. The water is pretty clean in there. Quite a few springs feed the two lakes and ponds. They could be used for basic recreation, ice skating in the winter, fishing in the summer, hunting in the fall, hiking.
Mr. Canning?
Is there any time is of the essence reason why they're doing the auction on such short notice? Under purchasing, and I defer to our attorney, but the government transfer, even the quasi-government entity is allowed as a purchasing law where the auction is not necessary. My knowledge, is there any reason why, this is coming up so quick and your sense of urgency? Would HWA be open to, entering some type of negotiation?
I can't speak for them, but we discussed the proposed auction date with them, and they were satisfied with that. I think they would like to use the law and made a decision to do that. I think going to the public openly gives them the best alternative. Probably.
Any other questions, Mr. Green?
What is the value of that property? Any idea?
Fine.
Decline.
Okay. Understandable.
Loaded of a question for
Okay.
$3 on the thing.
Oh, it's up to $3, I thought you said 2.
I vote fine. I agree with you.
If you really, it's good value.
Taxes and interest.
All right, any, so seeing.
Can't be developed.
Yeah, it can't be developed,
It's in the
so.
preservation area, at best they could put one house on the property.
Right.
If someone purchased it privately.
Right. So,
Unless we were prepared to use it for some type of passive recreation, we have no need for the property.
Is there anything from the county that can be done? Yeah, is there any kind of, I'm sure no, it's still good.
The county open space applications are already in. Usually typically in June of every year, if they're already into the 2013 funding, then they'll accept applications next June again.
Any other questions? Christina? Thank you very much for giving us this information and.
Someone might want to put a house on it.
Yeah, you'll see the sign go up in the next 10 days as well. I just wanted to bring it to your attention before we go on anywhere else. So thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, we appreciate this.
Yeah, I can only imagine if someone put a house on it, what the taxes would be on 187 acres.
Actually, what they would do is put the house on an acre, and then they would make the rest of it as farm assessment, and as long as they produce something and sell it, they don't.
The laws changed in terms of what they would have to produce.
Yeah,
It would be woodland management.
Yeah, woodland management,
Well,
which is
then-
okay too. I mean,
Yeah.
bottom line is that as long as the property's not being developed, and we don't have a need for passive, I mean, I would love to be able to purchase the property and have some kind of passive recreation on the property.
Yeah.
But we don't have money in our open space fund, and we're not in a position, I think, to partner with anybody to purchase the property.
And
But
it's-
we'll look at it and we'll report back.
And it's not just a matter of purchasing it, we also have to plan on the funding to maintain it and do all of that.
I'm not sure they really need to maintain anything.
Well, if you're starting on a passive recreation, you have maintenance issues.
I don't know.
Yeah, just saying.
I mean,
Mr. Roman?
If nobody's been down to that lower reservoir, it is beautiful, for passive, especially for something passive, so I would definitely like to see us at least explore the option, to somehow acquire it or be able to have it for still, passive use, resident use.
Want to check that out?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone has a suggestion as to where we could get the funding to do it.
I was just gonna say that.
I think if we all chip in.
Okay, we'll look into it and we'll report back at the next meeting.
Kathy Murphy's still, as a consultant, isn't she, for?
It's okay, we'll look into it and we'll get back to you.
Thank you. Sounds good. All right. We're moving down, public portion, anybody else from the public? Seeing none, public portion is closed. And I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Very good. Now we're moving right along to our public meeting. And we have our, we already had our pledge of allegiance, and I'd like to ask Mrs. Lashford to please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement.
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building 204 Flinders Town Road, of Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Franke?
Here.
Mr. Castro?
Here.
Mr. Perkins? Mr. Roman?
Here.
Mr. Stazak?
Here.
Mr. Media?
Here.
Mrs. Sladow?
Here. Again, I just want to state that Mr. Perkins is not here this evening due to, he's visiting his mom. And, we have approval of minutes of previous meetings. Mr. Franti, would you please move June 25th, 2013, workshop, public meeting, and closed section?
Is that date
Closed
correct?
session.
Is that date correct?
June 25th.
No, July 9th, sorry.
July 9th, thank you. July 9th.
move to approve the public meeting, workshop, and closed session minutes of July 9th, 2013.
Second.
Any questions? Concerns? Seeing none, roll call please.
Mr. Franklin?
Abstain.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stezak?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mrs. Slayback?
Yes. Correspondence, we have 15 pieces of correspondence. Anybody like to discuss any of our correspondence this evening? Seeing none, we have our consent. Sorry, I turned too many pages. We have our ordinances for public hearing. And first, we have, for our first reading of ordinances, the second reading will be on August 6, 2013. And ordinance number 20-2013, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Mount Olive in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 400 Land Use Article 5, Design Guidelines and Technical Standards, Section 75, Tree Removal, Replanting, and Forestry Management Plans. Mr. Nacastro, would you please move that?
Thank you. Yeah, I move ordinance number 20-2013 to be introduced by title and passed on first reading, and that meeting be held on August 6th, 2013 at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Racetown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of the law.
Second.
Thank you. Anybody from the public have any questions? Seeing none? Anybody from council, any questions? Comments? Seeing none? Roll call please.
Mr. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stezak?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mrs. Slayback?
Yes. Now we have, the next item on the agenda for first reading is ordinance number 21-2013, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Mount Olive, amending ordinance number 20-2012 entitled Salaries of Certain Non-Union Personnel as previously amended by ordinance number 17-2013 and ordinance number 19-2013. Mr. Mayor, would you read that, please?
Yes, Madam President. I move that ordinance number 21-2013 be introduced by title on first reading, and that a meeting be held on August 6th at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Racetown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading, and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of the law.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Anybody from the public have any, to address this ordinance? Seeing none, any council members, comments? Seeing none, roll call please.
Mr. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stezak?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mrs. Slayback?
Yes. We have consent resolutions. We have 8. Would anybody like to have any of the first 8 consent resolutions move to non-consent? You want to do that non-consent? Or you want to just amend it?
Why are we amending,
Number 5 is the, one for the.
Yeah, no, I understand, but, okay. I
Because-
figured we were approving it no matter.
But it can't, we don't have the final approval for it yet, so what we're amending it, that the mayor will sign off on it once the, attorneys get done with their negotiating. So, we're going to move resolutions 1 through 8, and number 5 is amended, that the mayor will sign the resolution once the attorney finishes with their negotiations.
Sign the resolution or sign the concept?
The agreement, thank you. We'll sign, the mayor will sign the agreement.
Developers agreement.
Developers agreement.
I move consent resolutions 1 through 8 and number 5 as amended.
Second.
Anybody from the public want to address the council on any of the resolutions? Seeing none, anybody from council have any comments, concerns? Seeing none, roll call please.
Mr. Ferrandino?
Yes.
Mr. McCastro?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stezak?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mrs. Labow?
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda is, resolution number 9, which is on our non-consent. And, Mr. Stezak, would you please move that?
I move resolution, or non-consent resolution number 9.
Second.
Would anybody like to have any comments, concerns? Anybody from the public? Seeing none, roll call please.
Mr. Ferrandino?
Yes.
Mr. McCastro?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stezak?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mrs. Labow?
Yes. We have consent motions. Mr. Mania, would you please move the solicitor's permit and the bill list?
Madam President, I move conservations, motions 1 through 2.
Second.
Anybody have any questions, concerns? Anybody from the audience? Bill list? Nothing? All right, roll call please.
Mr. Ferrandino?
Yes.
Mr. McCastro?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stezak?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mrs. Labow?
Yes. All right, we are to administrative reports.
I got a lot of stuff, I'm sorry. Two things they sent, just came in today in the mail. First was from the Morris County Improvement Authority, it has to do with the solar project in the back lot. I'm not sure how many were able to review that, came in this afternoon. In a nutshell, the Morris County Improvement Authority, which we know is financing the solar array in the back parking lot. There seems to be some litigation between the contractor, the designer, and the dragging in the Morris County Improvement Authority, so we don't know where that's going to go or how long that's going to take. They're trying their hardest to work through the issues, but we're kind of on the sideline right now waiting for our solar array. So we are not dragged into any of the litigation, we're just kind of waiting for these issues to resolve themselves. So there should be a letter from County Administrator John Bonani in your inbox, if you have a chance to review that yet. Secondly, the state DOT responded to me as well today and said to do with the no left turns for Route 46. We had some discussion on it last council meeting where, it might have been truncated a little bit. It seems to be that they're taking the position that the entirety of Route 46 would be prohibited to such a maneuver because of the lack of jug handles as well as the possibility of traffic jams coming back on 46. They offer a third suggestion, which may or may not be pursued, which is traffic calming. From my own experience, I can't imagine Route 46 going down the one lane with a single center turn lane. I think the traffic would be prohibitive. The one thing we are very much interested in pursuing, though, is a prior plan proposed by the police department to, at the time, Sergeant Van Ness, having to do with the Wolf Road, Route 46 intersection. So we're going to get those plans in the police department and pursuing that. It's one of the more dangerous intersections in town. We have a lot of interest in that. If council feels otherwise or other priorities, I think we'll certainly incorporate that.
I agree, trying to have that center lane on 46 would be a disaster.
Yeah, so they put that in the letter, and I was kind of taken aback somewhat. I'm not sure that's a realistic or practical solution.
Yeah, I know most of us who've been around this area for a while, when it was moved to 4 lanes, it just really expedited traffic, and to kind of take a lane away, even if
Yeah,
it's
you
just
can
one
only imagine
lane.
traffic jams you'd have to do with that.
Would be more traffic.
I want to clarify a comment I made earlier. I think I misspoke. I think it said it exceeds the pay to play. It does not exceed the pay to play. It has to do with possible injury. It does not exceed the pay to play threshold. I meant to say that. Recollected, I think I called myself on that. A couple accommodations around the building, which I want to make council aware of. One, Jim Lynch and Christy Stacks did a terrific job. Our new insurance risk managers are D&H Insurance. We went to them last year from Alaka Risk Management. D&H had come in, and the township has a lot of pump stations, a lot of property that we have on their insurance as well as vehicles. From my prior experience, I'm used to risk managers doing this. I know Jim and Christy were kind of surprised that a risk manager came to do it. They spent an entire day with us going through our entire insurance roster. We identified quite a bit of things that were discrepancies, and they're all in our favor. So by clarifying the value of property, the content of property, in the end, it saves tax dollars because it comes out of our insurance. So Jim and Christy really did a bang-up job. Spent all day with the risk manager, and it was a good job by our new vendor as well. We made the move back in January. We had recommended that we go with a new risk manager, and we're very pleased with the results so part. They did a very good job. Senior picnic, last week, the health department, I give you props to Frank Wilbur and the health department staff. I was out there and Mr. Stazek and I lost several pounds sweating over the grill, but it was well worth it. We had a very good day, and it was the seniors really enjoyed it. It was just a lot of fun. Juvenile trails are moving forward. We got all the approvals from the state DEP several months longer than we anticipated, but we are good to go. We have bollards on order, and we're going to start drilling holes, and that project is going to really go into high gear. Probably the first week of August, right after Labor Day, we'll see some significant progress. The timeline for that, we'd like to have that completed well before early October, which is Juvenile's timeline. And then phase 2 and phase 3, which they intend on funding through grants as well, will take the Morris Canal Trail from up by Continental Drive, and that'll run right to the Sussex Branch Trail eventually. So it's going to be a real nice project. Eventually, maybe we can get recreation to run some 5K trail runs on there. It'll be nice, a nice jewel on the northwest side of town. And lastly, I want to commend the Public Buildings and Grounds personnel. They've been going like crazy all summer, and in particular, the last couple of weeks with the carnival and then the tournaments of the Curtain Brook down at Jordan. They really have been strapped. They've been trying to keep up with their own duties as well as prepping for everything. But Frank Wilbur Jr. and his staff are doing a fantastic job. So I want to just get a foundation out of that. Okay.
Nothing?
Is that?
The mayor doesn't have anything to say.
All right, I got about a half an hour.
Okay.
Nothing to say.
Oh. All right, we're up to old business. New business. Legal matters?
No reports.
Council reports, Mr. Franklin, please.
The only thing I have is for the lake, the fall cleanup has been scheduled for October 12th from 9 to noon.
Thank you. Mr. Mania? Planning board?
If I may,
Yes.
got a question on the lake issue. Sean, earlier this week, I had asked for a schedule as to when the weeding of the lake happened. The reason I had brought to my attention from an angler that was partaking of the lake, he found a couple of fingerlings that had washed ashore, and he's trying to find out if there was a correlation between the weeding of the lake and the demise of those fingerlings. So I don't know if you've gotten that report.
Yeah, I received your email earlier week. Aquatic Technologies is our vendor. Subsequent to that, I sent an email to them as of today. I didn't get a response back from them. I'll remind them again tomorrow as soon as I get. I'll forward it on to you and the rest of the council as well. I wasn't aware of the fingerlings. If you like, I'll require us to make correlation as well.
And John, has there been any discussion in the lake committee regarding the impact it might have on fishing?
We haven't had a meeting since early spring. The next meeting is not until the summer.
Yeah, I will say the last report that I got was June 26th on the treatment of the lake. I'm a little surprised that there wasn't one in between. Check my emails. I had expected one, to be honest with you, about July 10th, July 14th, there about every 2 weeks since the height of the summer.
Any other questions? No? All right. Mr. Mania, planning board, senior citizens?
We adopted the master plan reexamination report at our last meeting.
Any major
And-
changes?
Pardon?
Any major changes?
Nothing major, but we had some changes. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the senior picnic. My work schedule did not permit it, and I apologize for it. But I was tied up at Picatinny Arsenal.
May I jump in for a second? Sure. There's, the next planning board meeting is actually a very interesting application coming up with respect to Center Court. We're looking to put in an temporary athletic facility, bubble. Should be very interesting. The facility itself is of great benefit to the township, but past development of that property has created a lot of interest on behalf of the adjacent homeowners, so I expect that should be an interesting meeting.
How big is, what would they want to accommodate with the bubble?
you know, the only thing I can suggest, indoor soccer, anything that you can do indoor, basketball, lacrosse, field hockey, baseball, football. Well, all of those indoor facilities run like pitchers and catchers.
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about a game.
No, I don't think there's, I don't think you can have a game there, but they use those facilities 24/7 and divide them up depending upon what sports. I've seen soccer going at the same time as pitchers and catchers, going at the same time as indoor field hockey. There is a need for that facility. We don't have anything of that kind in Mount Olive. And what makes this interesting at this time is, you may recall, we changed the zoning on that property from a use which was inconsistent with the zoning, pre-existing non-conforming use to a athletic zone. So they don't need a use variance at this point. I think the only variance they need is a height variance. And to the extent that it was not successful, they'd be able to take the building down, which was one of the objections that the neighborhood voiced the last time that there was an application with respect to that property. As you may recall, many years ago, it had to do with the hockey rink. And there were a number of reasons why people felt that was an inappropriate use of the property. This seems to be a much better use of the property that's consistent with the zone at this point. So, as I said, the use variance would not be required.
Sounds like it'd be a plus to the township. No.
It would be a plus to the township to the extent that it could be utilized by our existing sports groups, but there's a section of the township that probably will not look at it as a plus. They'll consider the fact that there will be additional traffic going to the center core property, and the fact that the building will be probably allowed to operate until consistent with other uses, 10 o'clock at night. I assume that's, where the planning board would go in terms of, it's what we do with our parks and other facilities. And, any time that there's any type of development which affects someone's property rights, it's going to be somewhat controversial.
Can take everything into, even when it's a business, anything at all, they wanna, like with Siemens, all the,
But by the same token, if you've been to center court and you've seen the improvements that they have made there in terms of their swimming pool and their tennis court facility, it is amazing to think that that was the same property that was run previously before center court came in. So they are a Class 1 operation, and personally, I'm hopeful that it gets approved, but I certainly understand the opposition to additional development adjacent to a residential area.
Should be an interesting meeting.
That's what I think as well.
Mr. Nacastro, do you have any? Okay. Mr. Perkins is not here this evening. Mr. Roman?
This past weekend, the Mount softball, baseball hosted the Babe Ruth Mid-Atlantic Softball Regional. It went perfectly as far as a softball tournament. Many of our teams advanced into the later brackets. It was excellent to see some of these teams come from Jersey City, Pennsylvania, and we saw some excellent softball. And it also helped the township somewhat because speaking to other business owners, hotel occupancy had increased, restaurant use had increased. So this is something that not only benefited the township as far as being able to represent us in the region, but also helping our area of business. I hope to see more tournaments of that like. Thank you. And I have nothing on Board of Education.
I want to add to what Mr. Roman said. That's one of the studies that they've done numerous times in various municipalities, that when you do have a tournament or some kind of a function going on in town, all the local businesses, everybody benefits from it, so it's really a great opportunity. Mr. Roman?
And the only thing I may add to that, there was one business owner that wanted us to alert him a little bit sooner when things of this nature come about, and I directed him to become a member of the chamber, to like our township recreation pages, and
tried to work with baseball to put up banners on Route 46 and 206, if you may recall, because we wanted to promote and let everyone know that the tournament was coming. I have to tell you that I knew the tournament came in on Wednesday, and I went looking for it. I couldn't find it. Ultimately, I went up to Turkey Brook on either Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday, and I saw it. But for attending the event, it was almost extremely difficult to see any change in the township, from my perspective, in terms of traffic flow, in terms of increased activity at our businesses, although I believe that it happened. You know, I certainly wasn't visiting the hotels, and I don't think I went out for dinner that night, but it really didn't impact the town in a negative way at all.
No, not at all, yeah. One of the things that ended up happening, because the way it was run, you pretty much, teams knew when they had to play, so they only showed up on, because I actually was expecting the park to be, no parking. But while they were not, while teams were not playing, they were partaking, of other area shopping. A couple of people reported going to shopping, and definitely, I had gone to Longhorn, that Friday evening, and saw some of the other teams there, so, yeah, it was great. Yes, I do agree, with Mr. Mayor that, this could have been more properly advertised, and seen as baseball's first major regional tournament. I know this is something that I'm gonna learn from, and be able to capitalize on in the future.
Did any of our teams make it out of the region?
We did not advance. The one that went furthest is the 12U team. Unfortunately, my team went over great. It's tough when you get these girls getting older to get distracted with other sports. Some of our best players, are no longer in softball, but it was a pleasure to see some. I mean, a lot of these games, were won in the seventh inning by 1 or 2 runs. It was crying. It was great to see some great softball.
What I thought was interesting, actually, was Friday night, there was a power failure in the lower part of Clover Hill, which affected Dan Jordan Field. And although they had finished their games, and I guess it's not a lit field anyway,
Yeah.
but they had finished their games, but the power outage affected their ability to maintain their concession materials, whatever they were selling that needed to stay frozen. So I took a run down there as soon as I was notified, and I guess I contacted the Buildings and Grounds Department, but I think they already had a solution in terms of using one of the light stanchions that they did have to run as a generator until the power was restored. And I contacted Mr. Canning to let him know, and Mr. Canning arranged with JCP&L, which changed the transformer in that area to double the amount of power usage that could go through that transformer.
Mr. Mania?
Yes, we would be remiss if we didn't thank Matt Callahan for all his work in getting the field ready, Dan Jordan Field, the 2 bathrooms.
Yeah. He did a great job.
He had contractors come in to get them done. He worked hard, so we need to thank him.
As you know, John, I have for many years attempted to thank Matt and the rest of that organization who don't want to be publicly thanked for the work that they do, but without any question, the improvements that they have made to this town is second to none.
Absolutely.
In a lot of areas, and we would be remiss if we didn't thank them for everything that they do for Mount Olive Township.
Absolutely.
Mr. Stazak, your MOTV report?
We haven't had a meeting since our last meeting, and we're planning one for September, and we're back after we have it.
Great, thank you. For TNR, the only thing I have to report with TNR is they're going through there's a hoarding situation in Flanders. And so far, our ACL has pulled out 22 or 24 cats, and there's approximately 30. So they've been working very closely and diligently with Frank. And I have to say, we're so fortunate to have Frank as our ACO. He's just absolutely wonderful. He went in 2 weeks ago and pulled out the cats that seemed to be the most, distressed. And so he's pulling them out as TNR's finding foster homes or placement for the cats. And hopefully this issue will be resolved very shortly. So Mr. Cannon?
Yeah, the TNRs, and I met with them today, they are extremely overstretched right now. There's a dire need for volunteers in foster homes. I know Michelle Lerner and I and Lisa met today, trying to get the word out through Facebook and other social media that TNR does need help, especially in the short term. They said they're stretched beyond their limits right now. They really are. We have made arrangements if we have to hold some of the, we have a lot of sick and disease and neglected cats that are coming out of this one location. We believe there's about 8 more left. I've given the authority to Mr. Nelson. Normally we hold them for only 7 days. Dr. Charles are giving the authority to hold them for 21 days. If we have to, just to try to alleviate the pipeline that's going into TNR right now. TNR, as we know, their mission is to trap, neuter, and release feral colonies. It kind of morphed into almost a rescue group, which now is in dire need. You know, there's a vacuum out there when it comes to an available shelter type of rescue group, you know, such as 11th Hour Rescue with the dogs and something with the cats. And TNR has filled that gap, and they are saving the township a lot of resources. But for the time being, we're going to try to get them some more volunteers, and we're going to try to slow the influx of cats just from this one location, just completely put them on end. So that's our short-term plan.
We also had some resident who reported that there was a cat that had kittens, and they took that one also, and thankfully somebody had fostered, and the kittens were so little you couldn't separate them, so that was another, it was like, all of a sudden it's coming out of all different directions.
It's becoming a problem. It shows how one neglected resident can not only strain the resources of a group who helps the township out a lot, but also our own budgetary resources.
Yeah.
We allocate so much for sheltering and treatment of animals within our animal control budget. We've had a good year, but we're going to have to spend a little bit of resources over the next couple of weeks to try to alleviate the situation. Hopefully this is the only one we encounter this year. One or two more houses like this, and we throw the entire program on its ear.
Alrighty, we have our public portion. Anybody, any comments from the public? Seeing none? Council comments. Mr. Frankie? Mr. Cashman?
No.
Mr. Warren?
Nothing.
Mr. Singleton?
Congratulate the health department on the senior picnic tonight. I had a great time cooking, and
You look like you were having fun.
yeah, we were. Sean and I were.
Yes, I want to thank Mr. Canning, because the guardrail on Route 206 and Main Street, it was down for many months. And I kept bringing it to the attention of Mr. Canning, and he kept calling the state, and they finally replaced the guardrail. I'm a stickler too. I ride town and I see properties that need maintenance, especially abandoned properties, and Mr. Schoening takes care of it.
Sounds good. Mr. Mayor?
Sorry, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Gordon Batten for the work that they did in front of the municipal building, the stonework. And we're looking at the possibility of getting lettering on the corner piece that says Mount Olive Township, which I think would look really nice also.
Very good. I was actually gonna say that in my council comments, that just coming up here just looks absolutely gorgeous. I also want to thank all of our employees and volunteers, staff, for the fantastic carnival. It really was a very nice event, and I have to say, I was there, Friday night was canceled, so I was there all day Saturday, except for maybe an hour, and all day Sunday, and I really didn't want to go Sunday because it was so hot, but I figured, you know what, everybody else is up there, I'm going up there, and it's a lot of work, it's really hard work, but everybody is smiling and laughing, and we're having a good time, and it's just really nice to see all the residents there enjoying themselves, so I thank all of you very, very much.
Just a point of information, I saw in the CDN the other day, the Construction Data News, Randolph Township was advertising for, quote, for an LED sign. I guess they saw ours and they got a little jealous.
Alrighty. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.